All right. Hello, 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 people. Nice looking people. It's great to see you here. I have just a small question or favor to ask you. If you are in the back, we still have few empty seats in front. Can you please move a little bit closer to the stage so we have, we feel like it's crowded? Thank you.
Game Pitch Arena, Anifilm 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Game Pitch Arena 2025. Unfortunately, I don't have that voice you heard in the trailer, but after I heard it, I'm a little bit afraid of what's coming next. Something like, no, we'll take over the world. Whoa. Hopefully, we will. Game Pitch Arena is part of Anifilm International Festival here in beautiful Liberec. My name is Pavel Dobrovský, and I'll be your host for this afternoon. And, of course, for the awards ceremony, that's going to be at 7:30 p.m. in festival tent. Today is all about ideas, creativity, and courage. Game development teams will step on stage and present their projects, and single one of them has exactly 5 minutes to pitch, and that will be followed by 5 minutes with Q&A from our experts, from our esteemed experts. And what is at stake? It's a prize money of 10,000 euros, which is, of course, sort of nice. But more importantly, this is about feedback, visibility. It's about inspiration, especially for those projects that might have been stuck in development hell for, well, since like 2022. Just raise your hands if you have a game in development for the last 2 or 3 years. Okay? Yeah, I thought so. Now, before we begin, I'd like to thank those who made today possible. Which means our partners. Let's put them on the screen. All right, here they go. And let's start with the most important one. That's PPF, one of the largest investment groups in Central and Eastern Europe. PPF supports innovation, education, and creative industries. Just, can you do a mild clap? Mild? That's okay, that's fine. Nice. Of course, another partner, a big partner, is CyberSail Consulting, a strategic advisory firm run by veterans of the game industry. So, again, not too much, save your claps for later. And we have to thank, with maybe a huge applause, to Anifilm, our host of this event, because this is the place where creativity meets stories, where animation meets video games, where creative people meet, and that's amazing. So again, for Anifilm, please. Then we have Mavericks, and you're asking, what? Who? Well, it's a Prague-based law firm specialized in tech and gaming. They are the kind of people who can make a publishing contract sound poetic. Oh, well, no, or at least painless. Then we have Beep Sound Production and applause for Mavericks. Nice. Then we have Beep Sound Production and top-tier audio production studio focused on immersive sound for games and media. Nice. And of course, Next Generation EU, which is a major European recovery plan designed to foster sustainability, innovation, and digital growth, and the Czech Recovery Plan, part of the national strategy to support post-COVID innovation and the digital economy. Nice. Also, we have to thank Indian TV, who are streaming this Game Pitch Arena live onto the internet. And they are also one of the biggest gaming media in the Czech Republic. Wow. I know these things like these words, these sentences, these talks are usually too long, and I don't want to take your time, but I need you to introduce our experts, our jury. First is Lukáš Macura. He's an independent developer and founder of Cinemax, a Czech studio active since 1998. That's the one on the right. Mario Gerhold is former marketing director at Koch Media and Plion, now working with My Games on their premium label Night's Peak. Then we have Jakub Dvorský, of course, founder Oh, he's okay. That was him. He's the founder and creative director of Amanita Design, and you probably know their games like Machinarium, Samorost, and Čučel. We have Guillaume Jamet. Guillaume, with over 25 years in the industry, Guillaume has worked as publishing director for Plugin Digital and Dear Villagers. Now he advises indie creators through Aikin and Indische Partners. And the last one, but very important one, is Vladimír Geršel, a veteran executive with credits at Activision, Sony, and PlayOn. Vladimír now leads CyberSay Consulting. He's been helping developers bring their projects to life for many, many years. Many. Vlad, I would like to, because you are here, that's nice of you to be here. Can you please come to the stage and say a few words?
Sure.
Welcome to the stage. This is the stage.
Thank you.
Good. It feels good, right?
Feels
Look
great.
at them.
Yes.
So we are here, Game Pitch Arena 2025. What makes a good pitch?
So you said we should be short. So I think, good pitch is not only about your pitching abilities on the stage. Good pitch means, first of all, good game. And then also game that is focused on the right audience and the game you are presenting to the right partners. So all of those aspects, I hope we are helping you to shape with the Game Pitch Arena. For us, this activity is really, I believe, important because we are showing studios how they can penetrate the publishing market, how they can improve their games. So when you are watching this, when you are watching other games, not only your project here, try to take as much from the feedback from those guys, because I really appreciate that those guys are here. And I think their feedback is the most valuable part. So good pitch means, I think, listen and improve it then for the market.
Pitching is one thing. The other thing is to actually get a publisher and to work with publisher. From your experience, how hard is it to get a publisher and to make it to the final line?
That's impossible. No. Nowadays, it's really hard because the market is overwhelmed with games. Last year, 27,000 games were released only on Steam. So with the publishers, it's hard. That's what we in CyberCell are helping to the teams to find the right publisher, to make sure you're focusing on the right unique selling points. You have the real expectations. So it is hard. It's not unrealistic, but it's also great to think about other ways, not only getting publisher, but how to get there. So being part of Pitch Arena, having some governmental grants, Creative Europe grants, to basically, not lean only on one thing and try to get the investments and make as much game as possible, or as big piece of your game before you go for the publisher.
All right, and maybe you already mentioned it, but can you give one piece of advice? Another piece of advice. Second piece of advice. Before you join your fellow jurors over there, what would you say to the people that are here that maybe are not in the pitch arena, but they are thinking about next year or their next project?
I think I have mentioned that, but so my biggest advice is really try to look at the game from the perspective of publishers. Those guys are trying to see the value in the game. They want to make money for them, but also for you. So try to understand their point of view, try to understand their comments, because publishers in some point are your customers, not players. So try to listen to them and try to adjust the business case and the whole game for them.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Vlad. Please take your seat over there.
Yes.
And we'll begin. We'll begin with the first category. We have actually two categories. And the first category is called Enchanting and Experimental Genres. Wow. This section is dedicated to smaller projects, games with
experimental genres.
That was unexpected. This section is dedicated to smaller projects, games with unique mechanics, or teams working with limited resources, where creativity does the heavy lifting. So before we start, so just for you to know, we have 5 teams in this category. Each team has 5 minutes to present, and it's followed by 5 minutes of Q&A from our expert. So let's begin the presentation. Okay.
Okay. Hello, I'm Petra, and let me introduce you to my game, Missing News. It's a hand-drawn, magical point-and-click puzzle adventure game. A cozy one where you solve puzzles and search for your missing cat. Let's see a short preview. So, in this game, you play as Sof, a young girl who one day gets a message that her childhood cat ran away from home and is missing. She decides to leave her university city and return to her hometown in order to find her missing cat. The cat is called Princess. However, Sof isn't an ordinary girl. Since childhood, she has understood the language of cats, so she can speak to them and understand them. And who else can help her find her missing cat? But beware, it's late autumn, cold winter is coming, and Princess may not survive in these weather conditions, so you need to hurry up. In this game, you solve puzzles in order to gain trust of cats, interact with various characters, and you can ask them if they have seen your cat. You explore your hometown, Carlsberg, and see what has changed since you left for university, and play various minigames, such as designing a poster for your missing cat. And what about the business side of things? The game is planned as a premium game with estimated Steam release in 4th quarter of 2026. However, the date can be changed. And I want to publish the game later on tablets, so on iOS App Store and Google Play. And also, I think it would be a good fit for Nintendo Switch. Regarding budget, the game is small, it's self-funded, so no monetary input is necessary. I'm not looking for an investor. However, I am looking for publishing help with localization, marketing, and eventually Nintendo Switch release. And what about similar games in this genre? So the games you see are basically point-and-click games, puzzles and adventures, which are great on tablet or on the Nintendo Switch. Similar themes and gameplay of these games include narrative point-and-click experience, such as in Night in the Woods, solving puzzles and experiencing emotional storyline, such as in When the Past Was Around, finding your missing cat and talking to her in Friend Bow, and multiple puzzle minigames in Rusty Lake series. And last but not least, let's meet the team. It's mainly me. I'm the main developer. I'm Petra. And I'm working with 2 other people, Lenka, who composes music for the game, and Daniel, who is a sound designer. And that's all. Thank you for listening. You can scan the QR code in order to visit the Steam page of the game or contact me at the email.
Okay, so I'll start. I'll be brief. I appreciate the Ještěd in the background, in the window. So nice. From my point of view, a few things, because guys will probably be more in detail on that. So those games you show there as competitors, they seem to be horror games from in many cases, which is usually a different audience. So I wouldn't base your estimation numbers on the horror genre or subgenre. I was missing a price tag there, so what is your estimated price tag for this game?
Honestly, I'm not sure yet, but about 10 euros or USD per game.
And also, can you disclose at least roughly if you have some interesting amount of wish lists?
Wishlist on Steam?
Yes.
Currently 600. It's up since the end of last year.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'm handing over.
Okay. So, since I'm game developer mostly, I would focus, in my perspective, I would focus on improving visual style of the game, because it's a cozy game. It should struck you for the first sight, and I think I saw similar games many times, so it's not special enough. I think it should be more like, it's about little cats. It should be like very like soft feeling, and I would love to see more like fluffy or tangible visuals. Maybe I believe it would help, and I would try to make it more special in some way. I don't know how. And also, as a game developer, I would appreciate more to know more about the game design itself, because we've seen very little. So I don't know if it's really a puzzle game or more adventure game. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, adding to this, in regards to the color palette, what you also were addressing, I'm seeing this from the marketing point of view. And if you are already up on Steam, then you know that if you have 5 main screenshots, you want to look different, ideally, on the screenshots. And you can achieve this by different colors. However, the whole style of the game, which is on purpose, has a reduced color palette. So it will be hard then to catch the awareness. Do you know the word count already? Because if it's an adventure, you have words, right? And dialogues.
Not yet, because it is being written.
Okay. What's your best guess? Is it 10,000 or 100,000 words?
I suspect 10 to 20,000 words.
Okay, that is reasonable. Is the gameplay experience linear? So when I'm through, I've seen it from A to Z, or?
It's linear with branching choices. So you can, for example, there's a main story, and you can do some like side quests, but you don't have to.
Okay. Coziness is the key. I'm currently also working on a cozy game, and I learned that in the last 3 years there was a massive release flood of cozy games here. Are we maybe too late to the party? What do you think? Have you seen the number of cozy tags when you search on Steam? Yeah. Okay. So this is quite hard then to stand out. I think this was pretty much it. And if you have to make a choice, and also referring to your question, is it more an adventure or is it more a puzzle game?
I would say more puzzle.
Okay. What you can do if you're presenting to a publisher, you are basically making a grid or a graph that says like 30% is puzzle, 60% is, and so on, yeah? To give a bit of quick understanding how to position and place the game.
70% puzzle and 30% adventure.
Okay, cool. Then it's puzzle. Thanks.
Thank you. I missed an information about how long is the game?
Yeah, it's 2 hours main story, 3 hours with side content.
Okay, so that will be my main concern on my side. Because I've seen many projects, and usually when you think it will be 2 hours, it's less, and you think it's 3, and you know the rule on Steam, right? That people can be refunded if they play less than 2 hours. So I would say that will be your main risk, to be honest. Very short game. People tend not to be very fair to developers because they don't hesitate to refund, even if it's a nice cozy game. So my first advice would be to be careful about the game length. Maybe you should find some additional mini games or puzzles to add in order to artificially but still providing a good experience. That your main story should be at least 3 hours. You should aim for 3 hours at least, because if you do that, you maybe have 2 hours and a half, but you should try to go longer. And also my advice about honestly, it will be hard to find a partner. It's hard to find a partner for anyone today. But for small, cozy games, as we said, it will be even harder. I would maybe not lose time pitching publishers, but I would rather maybe try to reach for those small marketing agencies who can help you for a rev share, so that you won't pay anything to them. But if they like your game, they can, provide PR and some services and help, and take a cut out of your game. I think that might be the best scenario. We can discuss afterward. I don't have any names to drop right now, but we can look into that. And yeah, that would be. And also play your personal card. That's one of your first game, I'm sure. And one of the key of success of the game like yours is people care for the developer. At least as much for the developer as for the game. And if you can break through some wholesome communities, and people will help you buying the game, and that's also very important. So you should use that game as a personal branding stuff also to prepare your career in video games afterwards.
Thank you.
I have no other questions.
Okay, thank you.
Enchanting and experimental genres.
Whoa. Okay, hi. My name is Matěj, this is Lucie, and we are from a group called Herní, and we came here to present our game Prší. And let me start with what Prší actually means. It's a name of a somewhat traditional Czech card game that all of us, or most of us, learned when we were little kids. And we decided that we want to make a game about it because there are not that many games about Czech traditional card games, and we decided we want to connect it to another traditional thing, or one could say a cultural heritage we have, which is drinking beer and going to a pub. So we did that, and we were thinking, okay, what are you going to do there? And we decided, okay, let's create a mystery, let's create a detective game. So the story of the game is about a guy who goes to a pub every day, and suddenly he doesn't show up, so there must be something wrong, right? So what you do is that you're sitting, you're at the table in a pub with your mates, and you're talking to them. And you're trying to figure out what happened and why is there the weird guy in the pub. And yeah, so we connected playing cards and the dialogue, but we kind of also wanted to go a little bit further, not just like staying at the kitsch of playing cards and drinking beer.
So that is why we wanted to portray this Czech pub culture with its really charming side and also its dark and more rotten side. It's the part of the pub scene we know intimately, and we really wanted to capture this essence in our over-exaggerated characters. We use colorful language, dark humor, chauvinistic Czech jokes. We make fun of it, but also want to touch you in some uncomfortable spot you have somewhere here. That is also why we combine this sort of a surrealism and magical realism, and we sort of agreed that we are trying to hit the intersection between Mr. Hrabal and Mr. Jan Verich with Finfarum. And we believe this game is for someone who enjoys narrative-driven games, but also detective stories, and also those who are maybe tired of the PG-13 rating, because we love raw language, and we also want to explore maybe less conventional themes like sexuality, childhood trauma, or just rotten core of psyche. And if we should compare the game to something that's more current, I would say it's the mouth washing, for example.
So what we currently have is somewhat a horizontal slice, one could say, which has 60 minutes. We have 6 characters that are fully modeled and rigged. We have the card game mechanics that are combined with the selecting of the choices, as you saw earlier. And we have a branching story that is unique for every player based on the player perks that one can pick up. And, oops, whatever, there is no image. But what we want for the game to become now, we want to kind of finish this transition from a festival demo that we kind of have into a full game, which is basically by expanding the card game mechanics and linking the card game more tightly with the story, making the branching dialogue more complex, and also to have a professional translation, because now we just translate it ourselves and it's not that good. And we would like to release the game by the end of this year. So to sum it up, what would we need the financial support for is to finish the full version of Prší and also to, yeah, like support our time that we would spend on marketing and distribution.
And quickly, who are we? We are a group of 5 twisted individuals from FAMU Game Design. We are all soon-to-be graduates, and yeah, we. As you can see, we won this small award at the final festival, and you can also play the game in the game zone. There is a playable demo. And thank you so much, and also feel free to reach us to us in person.
Time is up.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. It's bring my my memory because my first game was Mariage, and there was Loisa and Standa, and so it's nice. I would like to ask about platforms.
Yeah, we are currently having it on PC, but we have a touchscreen support, so we would like to release it also on maybe iOS and Android, if we find a way to optimize it a little bit better.
And Do you plan have the card game as mini game, standalone, playable, maybe multiplayer?
If you think that's lucrative.
Well, probably not, yes, as you said. Not as a standalone, but actually I had the same kind of comment. I'm unsure about your will to mix your narrative into a card game. I would rather expect from your game, from on your pitch, having a good card game and a good story, but having it both together maybe can lead you to difficulties and also frustration. Because if the card game is very good, then I want to play card, I don't want to have the story. And if your story is very good and your card game is weak, then I will not enjoy my story. So that's my main concern, maybe keep it apart. And I need to be quicker, I will say. So I like the art direction, at least it's different, so you can get attention with that. And I'm missing the real budget. You say you need the money to make the game. Okay, how much is that?
Well, as much as possible, I think.
Yeah, you will need to give us a number at some point, for sure. You will be to give a number and to give a precise timeline. So say we need 9 months and it costs X or Y. But that will be the part missing for me.
Okay, I have also to underline that I was not super clear about the gameplay loop. So I saw the cards and then I heard about the crime, mystery, adventure, but I couldn't explain how this is supposed to work. So if you are presenting this to a publisher, put in a loop, like this is where you start, this is what you do, this is how you end. Platforms was already discussed. You have sex, crime, and alcohol. That sounds good on the first side, but it gives some challenges for the marketing, obviously, because you would want to have approvals as well. And also on Steam, you need to get an IARC rating, and in some territories, you would also have local ratings to be applied. Is your core market only people that live in Czech Republic?
No, we would like to spread it. So
okay, and are you considering to change the name of the game, or is it supposed to be the Czech name for the world?
we were thinking about it, and we would keep it the same.
Okay, you know that if you're not Czech, you would not understand. You would say like a German Przi. That's the name of the product then, yeah?
Yeah, we are okay with that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And you were also considering to do the marketing, right? Are you willing to edit cuts or make cuts to the game and or to the marketing assets in order to get approvals?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Okay, that's it from my side. Thanks.
Thank you. So I played the game. I gave already many feedbacks to the team. So they know I love the game. I love the art, the concept. I think you are doing it well. Don't listen to these business people, please. And I just see a pretty big potential in the game. It's not there yet. It's just a little plaything so far. It's good, but I think it could be reworked to something much bigger, much more complicated, and more fun in the end. But it will need probably many years, or at least a few years of work and solid budget. So good luck with that if you decide to follow this journey. But otherwise, I think it's good. I love the idea that it's something new. It's kind of different genre. It's adventure game or storytelling game, where the card game mechanic is just the engine to move forward. The problem is that the card game itself, after some times it's very boring and tiresome. But again, I think it's a very nice experiment, and I'm happy that people are willing to experiment. So good luck.
Yeah, thank you as well. I also like it. It's really it's challenging even for us to understand the game. But if you do a bit better job by explaining it, because not always one of publishers you are selling the game for is describing it to others afterwards. So I think you need really to specify way better what is your target audience. Like if it's really puzzle game, then as Kuba said, like how to avoid the repetitiveness of the mechanic. If there is branching narrative, I was doing game with branching narrative. You said it's based on perks. You choose. It's very expensive also for testing, because then you need to test all the cases and you know the whole tree of decisions. So I think for that you need to really specify way better the production plan, how to not be boring by the core mechanic, how to maybe describe it more closer to the Uno, because it's basically a similar gameplay loop, and I think, you know, publishers worldwide might understand Uno better than Prší. And also really think about the length of the game, because you said it's an hour now. You did it for how long are you producing it?
I think like 3 months, 4 months.
Okay, then that's fine. Then it's fine. I thought it's way longer. So, as Guillaume said, you need to reach some reasonable 4 hours of gameplay, let's say, and for that, I think you really need some good combination of different gameplay loops, as Pilgrims had in their game, for example, for the card game. But I really like it. So good luck with that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much.
the feedback.
Chanting experimental genres.
Hello everyone, my name is Katerina.
And I'm Daniel.
And we are the creators of Space Candy.
Presentation, please. Yes, thank you.
In short, Space Candy is what happens when Candy Crush meets the Barbie movie, meets the Lego movie, meets Severance. And in long, Space Candy is a detective story with 4 main gameplay elements. First, it's a point-and-click adventure where you investigate items, talk to characters, and uncover leads.
Then it's a match 3 puzzles which help you progress in the story. You will be hacking stuff, you will be defeating candy enemies, and you will be unlocking new areas. Third, there are hidden object puzzles which will make you look for clues and scan the areas.
And finally, there is a whole level of exploring the corporate candyverse, which we filled with hidden jokes, lore, mini games, and all sorts of fun stuff. In this game, you play as a candy employed in a match 3 game. So you're like the most ordinary guy imaginable, literally one of million candies. You come to work, you get crushed, swiped, exploded every single day of your life until one of your candy colleagues go missing, and you need to man up, go rogue in your company and solve what happened.
And as the sweet corporate facade of the Space Candy Corporation crumbles, the story goes much darker. It's still pink, but it's much darker pink.
Yeah. We know that the match 3 genre is a very popular and profitable genre, but it's also ridden with aggressive monetization. So what we wanted to do instead is to take the familiar mechanic and wrap it into a charming story and create something that would be less of a dopamine trap and more fulfilling, heartwarming experience.
So we will have no inside monetization, no microtransactions, nothing like that. We will just focus on story-rich adventure and beautiful art style.
And what we like to say is that Space Candy is what happens when addictive mobile mechanics go to therapy and come back better.
surprising market analysis slide that you have already seen before. So we did a little market analysis and we found out that there is like no direct competitor out there. So Space Candy will take this like sweet spot of between the quirky story-rich adventures and casual proven puzzle mechanics.
Yeah, we tested the game with over 50 people of different age and backgrounds, and we found out that it resonates the most with young people who are maybe a little bit ashamed of their secret mobile gaming addiction, than casual women gamers who aren't at all ashamed of their addiction.
Generally, you can say that like it's basically everyone who is into meta movies like the Lego movie, the Barbie movie, Free Guy, or corporate humor like The Office. At the moment, we have like a playable demo, and we believe that in 6 months we can make it into a full game experience that will be 2.5 hours long. It will have more features and arcade mode.
Then later, based on community response, we would like to roll out more content, more DLCs, and more stories of the Space Candy characters.
So we are looking for 90,000 euros and a publishing partner for helping us finish the gameplay experience and like make it like much more pleasant for the player, and also help us with marketing, localization, and porting.
All in all, what we wanted to do was to create a fulfilling experience for everyone who's ever loved a match 3 game and hated themselves for it. So, and that's all for less than 10 euros.
Thank you very much for your attention, and we are looking forward to your questions, jury.
Test. So yeah, this was a wonderful presentation. You guys have rehearsed this, yeah, and well done. I have to say this from my marketing point of view. You said it's 4 games in one. You have point and click, you have match 3, you have hidden object, and you have exploration. What would you say? Is it like 30%, 30%, 30%, 10%?
Actually, it's like 50-50. So 50% is like the narrative story rich game, and like 50% are the puzzles. And needless to say that like the puzzles, they are like incorporated in the story. Like it's not like you are used to classic match 3 games where there is like this match 3 field where you just like do the regular matching, and then based on like your results you either win or not. We will have like mechanics that are rooted in the story. So for example, if you are fighting a boss, the boss is directly influencing what is happening on the field. So basically he's taking the candies from you, replacing it with like unmatchable ones, or we have like a candy, like you need to help your friend Marshmeow sober up with squeezing out alcohol molecules out of his squishy body.
Oh, don't call it alcohol. For the younger target audience, call it juice, something.
It's the juice, yes.
Yeah. Just saying. Today I was working on age rating submissions. Sorry for this. All right. I think that's pretty much it from my side.
Yeah, thank you. I will also congratulate you for the presentation. It was very nice. And that pitch also is exactly how I recommend studios make a pitch. So short visual slides. That's what you want to have, and that's for everyone else. You want to have those very visual and short slides that get anyone who reads it wanted to talk more to you, and that's exactly what you have here. So a very strong pitch. I will just mention again that 2.5 hours as your goal for the main story is not enough. You will probably do less than that, and if you do less, then you have a risk for anyone. But otherwise, you have a strong case to go to publisher. You have everything people look for right now. Small budget, so low risk. Short timeline for at least first version. 6 months is short, so that's also less risk for a partner. So yeah, if you solve that main story length issue, I think you have chances to find some money on the market right now.
Thank you.
I have only one question. What's your primary platform? Is PC and PC gamer or mobile and casual mobile players?
Thank you for the question. We didn't mention it in the pitch, but like at the moment the game is developed as a desktop PC/Mac game, but like we are aware that this game will like really well resonate with Nintendo Switch players. So that's one of the like main targets we would like to achieve.
Yeah, but what really surprised us during our playtest sessions were casual women gamers who are used to just casually swipe on, at the bus stops, or I wanted to say on the toilet, and then I decided not to tell it, but I now said it anyway.
So yeah, they're swiping on the toilet.
Yeah, and they actually said this. I thought that like PC games are all shoot, but for this, I would buy a computer to just have the cute plushies like on the big screen. So that really like melted our hearts.
But we know that it's going to be challenging to target those with like Steam sales and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we know that like we are looking for a marketing partner in the publishing that has like some experience with like games like that have like strong IPs, are cute and like that.
So I also like the pitch very much. Congrats. And actually, I hate those match 3 games and all similar stuff and this sweet visuals. I hate it. But for this game, it's perfect and it fits very well. And I would really want to play it. So my recommendation would be to communicate really well what the game is to players. So they recognize it's something a little different. Maybe you are making fun of these games or something like that. So perhaps it's good game for those people, for those ladies on toilets. No offense. But also for other players, maybe like me.
Yeah, we actually started to make it as a hardcore corporate critique game, but when we are in some like very early stages of discussions with a publisher who recommended us to soften the critique, keep the humor, but we didn't want to offend those who love this type of gameplay, so we softened the edges a little bit, but we are aware that for the real players, it might be kinda like suspicious and not gamey enough for them to play it. So we plan to promote it as a narrative game, as a narrative detective adventure for PCs, and then for mobile as a puzzle game with a story.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. A guilty pleasure with more deeper things going on.
And also, if you are interested in playing our buggy demo, we would be love to send it to you.
Just to add something, don't change anything from a publisher unless they give you money first. You know.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately we are out of time, so thank you very much. It was really great. The only thing I was missing a bit was something about replayability, and I think that's for match 3 games it's very significant to have replayability. For puzzle games not, so I think it's good to incorporate this.
Yeah, a very short answer for the full game. We plan to add like arcade mode where you can like replay those match 3 puzzles from the main menu. So as you progress in the game and you go you solve some of those match 3 puzzles, they will automatically unlock to you in the arcade mode. So when you finish the game, you will have all the match 3 puzzles unlocked in the main menu.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Enchanting and experimental genres.
Okay, it works. Okay. Hello, my name is Maria Hodor, and today I'll be presenting you the pitch presentation for my prototype named Mishu's Adventure. So, what is the game? The game is a narrative puzzle that is disguised as an interactive diary. Here is a little GIF that showcases a portion of the gameplay. The main mechanics are erasing, drawing, and connect the dots. So the core gameplay loop is that you interact with the diary. After that, you solve puzzles, and the resolution of the puzzles triggers another part of the story. So you unlock a new part of the story and continue the game and so on. But what is the story and the game about? Basically, you play as Mishu, which is a very chubby cat that gets to spend the summer vacation with his grandparents in the countryside. And there you get to do all sorts of activities like fishing, painting, and eating pie. These are the characters. So, oh, it's not working. Okay, it's Mishu, Grandma, and Grandpa. The gameplay, so everything about the mechanics and the story all trickled down into creating a very cozy and relaxing atmosphere, which is experienced by the player through the help of tangible mechanics. So erasing, drawing, and connect the dots. Everything that the player does has a direct impact into the game and into the story. This is how they experience the story. The target audience is heavy indie game players, so basically people that prefer have unique art styles, unique mechanics, unique stories, people that prefer to dig deeper into the stories. And also, one characteristic about heavy indie game players is that they prefer single-player narrative puzzle games. So it's exactly on the niche. And talking about the niche, this is a collection of titles that I've gathered that I think properly illustrate the niche and how much profit they can produce. And also the niche itself, these games illustrate a smaller part of the indie game players known as cozy gamers that again prefer games that are a bit more relaxing and narrative. And this niche is spectator friendly and community friendly. This is the positioning of the game. It's as narrative as it's mechanic focused, and it's as heartwarming and as nostalgic and atmospheric. And as I've said, the niche is represented by a very strong community with a strong presence online, known as Cozy Gamers. And this is how I've interacted with the community in the past. I tried to promote my game on TikTok. The community is present on other channels as well, like Reddit and TikTok. And this is my plan for the future. Basically, I want to set up a Discord server and communicate with people and raise the reach and the engagement through word of mouth and fan-made content. This is the timeline. I'm currently in the pre-development part, and I'm very close to finishing the V-slides. I only need to fine-tune the sound and the feedback. This is the ask. So what we need is funding for the game, marketing strategy, help with distribution, porting, localization, and so on. And regarding the funding, this is the budget estimate. So it's around the €1,000 mark. This is the team. As I've said, my name is Maria Hodor. I basically do everything besides programming. And this is my team partner who does the programming. A brief summary. So again, it's a narrative puzzle game. It has a very calm and relaxing atmosphere. So far, it's only a prototype, and I plan to post a far more developed demo with a better name. So far, it only has a placeholder name. And this is my contact. You can scan the QR code, and this is my email address.
Well, thank you. I like the art direction and what you are trying to do. I will have the same kind of question on the others about the game length. How long do you think will be your game?
I think it's around the 1 hour mark. But the way that it's structured in 4 chapters, and chapter 3 basically contains the most number of minigames, so I can actually add minigames if it's necessary. The way I've thought of the game is that I have 3 core mechanics that I just use to mix and match and create new puzzles. But it's the same 3 core mechanics, so I can get very creative with that.
I know that's a big challenge with that kind of very arty game. It's not a bad word I'm saying, but it's hard to find the balance between game length and boringness. You know, so I know, but really 2 hours is really a hard limit for everyone to invest in a game. But you can also have the choice to go with your piece of heart and release it, but will not try to make any money out of it, so no one will fund you for that. So you really have a challenge with every strongly artistically based game to find the balance between how to sell it and respecting your artistic intent.
One of the things that I'm looking for is professional feedback on the game and game design. So if that is one aspect that my hopefully future publisher considers is necessary, then it's fine for me.
Yeah, and just also, I will let people more qualified about games talk in a second. Just one thing a warning: you in your game list, when you see the competition, you mention profit. It's not profit; it's income. I can tell you a game like Dordogne didn't make any profit. I did write gross revenue, but I don't know why I said when I presented profit. But no, it was a play profit, I think, too, on your. It was gross. Okay. But it's not profit, and be careful also because some of the game you listed are known to have lost money. So it's hard to make a case of game who were not successfully.
But I would like to say that this is great to have this market research as one slide, because there you can position yourself as you have done with the positioning graph. When you are showing the positioning graph, give a second to digest for the audience. You would say like, okay, on top you see, on the bottom, on the left, on the right, and then you pick out 1 or 2 examples and why you are in a different space. The research, you talked about this, the pricing. When you have 1 hour or 2 hours, you would see the game more in the ranks of $4.99, $7.99. Is that right to assume?
I did see games that are generally around the €5 mark.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And probably with all the Steam sales, around the €2 mark, actually.
Sales on top, yeah. Okay, thanks. That was what I wanted to know. You have one.
Yeah.
Now we can talk together.
Yes, perfect. So I think you are doing everything right, and I think this is a game which should work very well with kids. And I still think there's a too little quality game for kids. So I would go for that, and I would play test with kids a lot. I would really recommending it, and. Maybe you can release the first chapter for free and then find funding for other chapters which will be paid. Maybe that would be
part of my plan.
Yeah. Maybe that would work, and you can build a community of parents buying it for their children and playing it with them. Maybe it's something I'm really lacking still, because as I said, there's very little quality content for kids. So just repeating myself, playtest a lot with all kinds of people, especially kids.
Yeah, that was actually my point as well, because to be honest, those mechanics, as you mentioned, that they are like you are combining them, then they don't seem challenging to me like at all. You know, like it was hard for me to imagine from the designer point of view, you can find very interesting challenges for older audience. So I think it's important to then frame it as the young audience game, kids game, or as you said, very relaxing game. But then there is a lot of text, so maybe it's important also to describe if the text is narrated for those kids, maybe amount of languages and so on. Because when I was doing, for example, game for the whole families, we were voiceovering it to 24 languages, and that's a huge cost on top. Also, I wouldn't mention you had there like 90K plus. For publishers, I would present them those 53Ks because those marketing costs they will count with them anyway on their site. And for 50K game, it sounds way more sellable than for nearly 100K game if you compare it to the previous one, for example. That's it because I need to be short. Lukáš.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enchanting and experimental genres.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Tansura and this is my survival horror game Paravoid. We can think of it as a blend of Dead Space and mouthwashing. It's set on a prison space station with retro futuristic graphics. Man, I sure do love survival horror video games. My favorite one probably, my favorite scene probably, is in Resident Evil 7, where you're going into this abandoned mansion. And then you try to save your wife, and then you find her. And then she chops your hand off. What? That's insane. It got my heart racing so fast, so bloody fast. And then you walk one-handed, the other hand stuck in your pocket. It got my heart racing so fast. Now, Now, after that, we just glue the hand back together. Well, that's not very scary, is it? Seems like something's missing. What's that? Consequences. Because how are we supposed to be scared when there are no consequences to being hurt? Well, I propose an idea. You get two hands. And you can hold whatever you like. A pistol, a flashlight, a cigarette. But now, when an enemy chops your hand off, do you hold a pistol or a flashlight? Okay. But I see you and I hear you asking, well, why don't I just reload a previous save point? Okay. Well, you can't. Because what if we make the respawn mechanic a part of the world itself? Now, when you respawn, your body may be all fresh and ready for work, but our character's mind, they still experienced all the pain and all the gore breaking their mind, your mind, because you're the player. Now, for each death, you go a little insane. Longer hallways, whispering eyes, so many bloody eyes! Did I saw something? Or am I just being paranoid? Okay, well, what do we do about it?
Yeah, we may drink, we may smoke, we get prescribed pills. We'll find a way to cope, we always do. Just gotta make it till Friday. Oh, for the weird slide. From the publishers, we need help mostly with globalization and local release, as well as testing, because this game demands lots and lots of testing. The total development cost is around 15,000 euros, and the game is already halfway there, funded. Similar games like this one are making usually 100,000 copies, with Lost in Vivo being our closest comparison, as well as quality benchmark. The game is roughly 30% done, and we finally left the development stage by finishing the inventory system, AI, and saving and loading, the respawn mechanic. The team consists mainly of me, with various various help by my friends, like Tomáš Engel and Maria Liptáková. 15 seconds. No fun fact. This was my survival horror game Paravoid. My name is Michal Tancira, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you for your presentation. I'll be brief. Just to explain how we work in cyber sales. So we run around word and pitch games to publishers. And my main problem with your game is that I would need to take you with me because I wouldn't be able to impress the publisher probably that much without you. So that's the tricky bit. But I really enjoyed it. Really nice. I leave it for guys. I think the budget is very low, which is good. So you can find probably some small publishers because it's very low risk for them. And I think those mechanics are interesting enough. But please.
This is not my field of expertise, but I like it really much.
Thank you.
And I just wish you good luck and incorporate there as many crazy ideas as possible. Just fill it with your creativity.
I'll try my best, sure.
This is a mature game, so you would want to consider target audience, at least for the slide, 18 to 35.
Yes.
Whoever buys it later on, yeah. I was really impressed by the stage show, totally maybe distracting me a bit from the game. What did I say here? Yeah, you showed a lot of Resident Evil stuff. You should be a bit considered to be a bit more cautious showing other products in that depth and length. Yeah, I get it; it's for the storytelling, but just saying that this is coming across a bit weird because you're not selling Resident Evil.
Okay, I'll keep it in mind. Thank you.
Yeah, I will make the same comment that sadly that pitch won't work much more without you, which might be your problem. That being said, with the money you are looking for, as I said before for the first game, maybe I want advice to go for a publisher because it really looks like one of those single developer / publish games that can, for any reason, be big or not. But I think you could deserve to go and check on that by yourself, you know, and you will get more chances if you keep being the star of the product instead of any publisher that will try to make you do something else than what you are intended. So I would most probably try to self-publish with that game, and everything else you have. The game is long enough. You have that neo-retro style which appeal to some players right now. So I think you have a niche. We can be a good niche for you. My only concern right now when I look at this is the Godot engine, because I know it's very hard to port games to console from Godot, and I think you will still have a console market also with that game. So.
Thank you. For the Godot engine, yeah, porting mainly to PC with lots of the sanity mechanics being tied specifically to Windows, so I can do some really bizarre stuff. So yes.
Yeah, but for this budget, I think that PC is okay. And I have a solution for the pitching to the publisher. If you don't want self-publish, just record and you can just play the video to the publishers.
I would just second that, that I would avoid publishers if I'm you, and play test it with your friends, because publishers just will push you to something more moderate or something. Just be crazy and publish it on your own.
Thank you. I will make sure to go crazy on this game. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Enchanting and experimental genres.
All right. All right. Wow. What game? Thank you. Oh. Now we'll take short break, 10 minutes long break. Then there will be another category with another games. And I ask you now, please do not leave the hotel. It's not possible anyway. The door is locked, so you cannot get outside. You need to be here with us to see another games that are in the category that's focused more on A and AA titles. So, 10 minutes. That means we'll see you here, let's say, for 4:55, okay? Okay, welcome back. Please take your seats. I'm happy to see that there are still quite a few people around, so you haven't found the escape route out of the hotel, and you have to stick with us for another 40 or 50 minutes, and it will be great. It will be great, because now we have our second category here, and it's called Established and Wide Audience Games. Now you might wonder, what the hell is that? Oh, I can tell you, it's in my papers. These are more traditional projects with broader market appeal, often created by larger teams aiming for commercial release. So it's so-called A or AA games. A. Okay. The rules are the same like before. 5 minutes for presentation, 5 minutes for our experts. No, Jakub will behave now, for sure. All right, so let's get started.
Established and wide audience genres.
Hi. Hi. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay, so my name is Adam, and let me present to you Hyperblade, which is a third-person arcade speedrunning game when you roller skate through a dystopian city, and you do tricks and all kinds of stuff and try to be as fast as possible. The game is about Nyx, who's a teenager revolting against her pack of raiders, so she decides to apply for a job at evil megacorp, and the whole game is the series of tests by the megacorp. So the game is all about excitement and speed, and you try to get the best time in each level. The levels are between 10 and 40 seconds. You try to find best shortcut, and after that you try to maintain momentum and get as fast as possible. You can do all sorts of tricks like jumping and doing grabs and grind and wall rides, and you gain excitement, which you can exchange for a push forward, which can save you from like a serious situation, or it can make you even faster. You also can optimize like a tough section by rollbacking time, and it also helps the game, makes the game more approachable and like easier to learn and to play. And you can also race against the other people's ghosts, so it's less lonely. For the visuals, it's a stylized, low-poly 3D graphics with a lot of grain, and there's like a high contrast between the dark, grayish environments and the colorful characters. There's also a narrative part of the game, which is sort of a visual novel type of thing. And it's more visual than a novel, few words and more motion design and stuff like that. There are a few similar games. I would mention Neon White, which is also a speedrunning game from first person, which is also a visual novel. And other one is Bombrush Cyberpunk or Rollerdrome, and I sort of blend between these three. For the budget, it's around, in euros, it's around 27K, but most of it is like my internal budget, and I'm the solo dev of the game. But what I want to help with is the porting to Switch and marketing. and I want to release the game in spring 2026, and maybe later that year port to Switch. And you can play the game in the game zone. Thank you for attention. And do you have any questions?
Thank you. I love the song. What was it? What was that?
It's underground Japanese ultra-fast core.
Perfect. Would be ideal for soundtrack for the game if you are able to persuade them. I love the dirty art style. I would make it even dirtier if it's possible somehow. To make it more extreme, just push to as extreme as possible from my perspective.
Yeah, thank you.
You mentioned you can race versus ghosts of others. So how do you get the ghosts? Is it the multiplayer? Do you have to download them? Or?
Yeah, it's like basically async multiplayer. It's already implemented in the demo in the game zone.
Okay. And mobile is a platform that you have ruled out?
I'm not sure. Like I haven't really thought about mobile, more Switch, because I know that it benefits from the shorter player sessions. I haven't thought about porting it to mobile, but it's possible, yeah, for sure.
Do you mean Switch 2 or Switch 1?
Both of them, both of them can handle that, yeah. So.
Okay, thanks.
You went quickly on the budget. I wasn't sure because you mentioned almost 700 total budget. And then you mentioned you were a solo dev. So can you just display quickly the budget?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can see that most of it is it's in Czech crowns. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry for that.
Okay. I read dollars on mine, so it's very different than.
Yeah. So but basically, you can see that.
Makes perfect sense now.
All right.
Yeah, that's. And yeah, otherwise, I agree with going dirty with the art direction. That's how you will differentiate yourself on the market.
Sorry.
No, I would have the same feedback about the art direction. I agree that you should give everything you have, making it in that style and as dirty as you can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
I have a question. Why you choose Switch and not PlayStation and Xbox?
That's because of the shorter session, and I really like the portability of the platforms. Benefits from you can just turn on, play a few levels, and I find it will be more successful on this kind of handheld platform because of the shorter sessions. It also will be a shorter game. It will be 3 to 4 hours of gameplay. Yeah. But it's yeah. I want to switch it, port it to Switch first. But I don't rule out other platforms. Yeah.
Okay. And can I ask what technology you are using? Unity or?
Yeah. It's developed in Godot, and also and a Blender and all the usual stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you as well. I really think this game can be interesting for content creators. That's my field. That you can make a lot of interesting, nice videos, crazy things. So have you tried it with some of them? Have you discussed it with some of?
Yeah, sure. Many people told me that they would love a level editor, and actually, there's always the possibility there. It's really difficult to develop this sort of environment, but yeah, it's totally possible, and I really love the idea. So it could be. I have the level design is basically made out of blocks, so I sort of make the possibility easier. Yeah.
Okay, but I was also talking. That's a good point. But I was also talking about content creators like YouTubers and so on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I think for them it's also nice. This game can be like, you can motivate them by having different crazy achievements. They can have some weekly challenges, stuff that is basically doing more interesting continuous content. And I think for this game it would work very well. Other than that, I really like it. The only thing is that we worked with some other games that are focused on running and parkour and similar mechanics, and it is hard sell. So I think the part with the story that motivates you to play. That's important to describe more for publishers, to explain what is the audience. Maybe have the split between that and the gameplay on the rollerblades.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I did actually the visual novel, because without it was like sort of like empty. Like, yeah, it increased motivation. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Established and wide audience genres.
Hello. Hello everyone. My name is Lucas, and I'm going to be presenting you our game called Crave, which is it's a hand-drawn 2D hand-drawn adventure, which was crudely coined as a Metroidvania. So it's like a non-linear world, a lot of screens, which provides you with or tasks you with like skill checks in terms of like platforming and combat, but also like puzzles, which you have to overcome utilizing your carnivore arsenal of the wolf, like the main protagonist. So our sort of like inherently fine or cool mechanics, which would you call like unique selling points of the wolf. One of them is sniff, which you like sniff stuff in the environment, which should provide like hints to overcome the puzzles or I'm sorry, to venture through the environment, which is like locked behind gates. Then you have the devour ability, which you have to like find stuff in the world, the creatures that you can see. I'm sorry. Basically, it provides you with additional abilities to progress through the environment, basically. The last one is like kind of like gimmicky. It's like utilizing urine, so you can like mark your certain parts of the world, which you can track back to then later on. Yeah, as I said, this is sort of like what the wolf sees when he acquires the smell, the scent. Basically, we try to avoid text and rather to utilize the visual like kind of it. So like alleviating from us the pressure of like having like a heavy word count and localization, and then at the same time like provides sort of like a narrative quality to it, but at the same time it had some as like gameplay relevance in terms of what you need to do to overcome the puzzles, basically. Yeah, the devour mechanic, it basically like it has a sort of like a beneficial quality to you. So you get like a double jump and you get like ability that helps you, but at the same time there's sort of like a detrimental effect to you. So you need to like strategize and utilize the both sides of it in order to progress through the environment. Yeah, in terms of like the level design, like I mean game design. From the high-level perspective, we have like this core 3 segments in this Venn diagram. So you have the trials, you have a danger, which is like the platforming and combat, and there's the puzzles at the same time. So every time we told about a new mechanic, we try to like cover all those 3 regions. So there's the mention, the sniffing, jumping, dragging objects, like a sort of like backbone, and the bread and butter of the puzzle gameplay. in terms of like sort of like a comparative analysis, this is our sort of games that we are inspired by. Like Abe's Odyssey is kind of like an older one, hard to get some relevant data in terms of like how successful it was. But in general, like trying to utilize the environmental puzzles, being sort of like on the back foot, not having this like a player power fantasy, like you can overcome everything. So leaning back from the combat. Rain World is sort of like a really like a survival thing, like anything can kill you. It is sort of like ambiguous in terms of like what you have to do, where you have to go. Animal Will, which is like really refreshing and in terms of like how the genre or the games in that genre are, you know, pacing and progressing through that non-linear environment. So instead of like acquiring the same thing over a time again, like jump, double jump, dash, so they use the different like items basically, which also provide like gameplay, but they use them to overcome puzzles, which was my biggest concern. Like if you backtrack to a puzzle, whether it should be so like reliable as you progress through the game. And I'm running out of time, so we made it in Unity. This is our budget that we are asking. If we would get that money, I would estimate that the game should be finished in 24 months. And last but not least, yeah, it's been like a kind of long project that we worked on like for 3 years now during the free nights. And yeah, time is up.
Time is up.
Okay, so I start. Thank you. It was very nice to have clear USPs in the beginning. That's good, and not every pitch had it. Also, I really appreciate, I think the art style is nice. Overall, we are now representing over 50 games, and I can tell you that like platformer genres are one of the hardest to find a publisher for. So you didn't pick the easiest genre, and combination of platformer genre and budget over 300K might be actually now quite tricky. If I think now from top of my head about different publishers, it's definitely excluding a lot of those. On the other hand, I think it's professionally done. I like the Metroidvania with pissing mechanic on top. So I think there could be some nice claims for publishers, but you would need to add way more business numbers in the presentation to have for publishers. Your wish lists, basically how you split the budget, if they can cut somewhere, if you can split it to DLCs or something, how you even achieve the survival audience, because survival mechanics are, you said, very important there. And then I wouldn't, if the survival is really important part, I wouldn't introduce it as a platformer, but as a survival game. And the 2D part is just representation, but it's not platformer. So that's it from me.
Thank you.
I remember I played this game at some festival.
It was a reboot, yeah,
a few years ago, and so I know you have a good playable demo. It's a really pity you didn't show us the actual gameplay, which you already have. And so I remember that the game is really nice. I like the visuals and I like the world. Where it takes place, the main character and everything. And animation is also good. So I would like to explore the world, if I'm able to, because I'm really bad at platformer and skill-based games in general. So, but my advice would be to focus on the world itself more, on the storytelling and on exploring the world, maybe. So that's my point of view.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we leaned back from the combat a lot, like because, like, to be honest, like we figured out that it's be too hard to compete with some of those best games in this genre. You know, like Singsong coming Crowdsworn, very like hyper polished moment-to-moment gameplay, which are really like tight, and not just like we learned that we done we don't find that much fun in it anymore because it took us a long time to get here, and the market is super oversaturated with them. We wouldn't be able to distinguish ourselves from those games. Not only that we would be the same, we would achieve that same quality. So that's why we kind of pivoted to the more like less skill-based gameplay, but more into the puzzle kind of area, which you should be happy more about it. Yeah.
Yeah, this was already mentioned, but I have to touch base on this. It's in regards to the positioning. So I wrote down, it's Metroidvania, 2D, side-scroller, action-adventure, and survival. Try to focus and rank it. Yeah, so we'll start with the most important one. If you are not keen on the 2D, for example, you can use different words like side view. That is helping to say the same, but in different kind of words.
Like a side scroller, right?
A side view.
Oh, side view. Okay.
There was one graph. There was one page with 3 circles on it. That was too fast to digest as an audience.
Yeah,
but this was very important because there was an overlapping part in the middle, and that is something you would want to point out if you have this in the presentation deck, which I like very much. Did you touch on the RRP, the suggested price point?
Sorry, like the price for the around 20 euros. I mean, I'm not sure. It would depend on the amount of gameplay, like the duration, which probably might be the next question. And we're trying to put it around 12 hours right now, but like sort of like a completionist kind of level. Like you explore every single corner of the world. Yeah.
Okay, then I hand over to you because that's your question.
Well, thank you. I was also there at Reboot, and I also played a few years ago. So I'm sorry to see you here because that means you didn't find any funding. I know timing is difficult. On the pitch itself, I remember the game from last time we met, and the art direction is really the strong part of your project. So I regret you have slides like this one, which is very black, and so you should put more of your art on front of people because your character is very nice, and I remember you have very nice stuff in the game. So yeah, you should be pushing that a lot. You just mentioned you have a 12-hour games coming, so maybe there's a key here because I agree with Vlad, finding more than 300,000 right now on the market. Well, you've been experiencing that for the past 2 or 3 years. It's very hard. So maybe aiming for a smaller game at a smaller budget will open opportunities. So it would be almost impossible to find a publisher to follow you on 300 for that kind of game. But if you are down to 150, maybe that opens some different opportunities. And it's okay to have a 6-hour long game in that game. If it's 6 good hours,
absolutely,
it can be fine.
Yeah.
So maybe reduce the scope, reduce the budget, and also my main concern, if I was still a publisher talking to you, would be that you've been working for a long time on that project. Are you still up for it?
It's been hard.
Yeah, I know.
Especially like team-wise, when you have to like leave it and go to your daily jobs. But I think we're still like really proud of how we got here and not being like totally destroyed by the feedback from those publishers. Basically, like what you describe in terms of like what's the ratio between budget and the game length. However, like estimated it is. We sort of find ourselves in this sort of like a cursed middle, which is sort of like a term floating around with the publishers, which is like more than 100K, but less than 500K. So that's probably where we are with those 325. But for them, it's like, not too little, but way too much if you compare it to the eventual, return from them, basically. So I agree with adjusting that number, but not higher, right? It should be like lower, but
yes, lower, of course. And you've been working on that for a long time now, and you should find a way to ship something at some point. Even if you go just by yourself, releasing a small part of what all those time spent should lead into something, even if you don't find a publisher. So you try to deliver something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it will be horrendous not releasing it at some point, like finishing the chapter.
Yeah, maybe just finish like a 3 hours experience and that's it. But I think you deserve to release something at some point.
Thank you.
Just quick, I agree with Jakub. And if you can focus more on puzzles and other stuff than platformer, I will recommend it to you, because I released platformer Bzd, and it's not a good genre for such a huge game as you are doing.
Thank you.
Established and wide audience genres.
Hello, hello. Hello everyone, my name is Mateusz and I would like to present to you our game in development called Mutes. So let's start with trailer in first, please. Thank you. So, this is Mute. We spent a long time designing, researching, and iterating it to get this perfect body shape. Mutes are mute. This is where the name came from. Unless they have this artificial speaker, which allows them to speak in normal voice.
I care about you.
Too early, sorry. The story is about this character called Gizmut. He is egoistical maniac and he uses his voice to rule over all these mutes.
Own children. Care about news as if they were my...
Sorry, he's a bit shy and saying some weird stuff. The first one, yes, please, yes.
I care about news.
So now.
As if they didn't say that. I care about news as if they were my own children. We can stretch, grab, and hold things and fire stuff using our bodies as slingshot, all based on in-game physics. The result is tactile, satisfying, and funny.
The whole game revolves around these bodies, around their anatomy that allows players to do very funny things using in-game physics. Through the game, you will uncover that despite what he says, he is a chaotic, incompetent, and really embarrassing figure. And players will have, of course, to let him down. So use these mechanics to start top-down action puzzle platformer journey. Speaking characters react to your gameplay with humor and irony, ways that both kids and adults will enjoy. Go on.
Not only we are working on a story-based single player, but we also have multiplayer full of frenetic action. Up to 4 players can compete in various modes via local, online, and couch.
You can try all this on our playable demo here in Game Zone. So, this is what we already have done. Now we are working on levels, puzzles, and we do a lot of playtesting. We plan to release the game in spring 2026, first on PCs and then port it to all possible platforms. Sure, we have lots of ideas for DLCs. The scope is comparable to projects such as Overcooked, Broforce for multiplayer, Angry Birds for characters, iconic characters and physics, and Half-Life for its simple but great, brilliant story. But our inspiration doesn't come only from games, as our team is full of talented artists that came from all over the artist genres, such as visual arts, music, stop motion, movie, theater, and so on. This multidisciplinary approach is very efficient and led us to really fast go further to achieve our goal and to make the game. We are looking for partners to help us with marketing and game launch, quality assurance and professional feedback, and money to cover the rest of development. So that's all. Thank you.
You mentioned the hero is an anti-hero, yeah?
Yes. No, it's not. You have to beat him. You play as
this is the enemy.
Good one, and this one is a bad one. In the beginning of the game, finally you find out that he is not as bad as he looked before. Maybe something like that.
Okay, now I'm confused. You touched on humor and irony and these elements, which is somewhat hard to put it into proper localization. Have you thought about this? How far would you want to go with humor?
As far as it gets, and just to keep game playable for children. Actually, yes.
Okay.
Our aim, our goal is to make game for children from maybe 5 years and up. So the humor and irony, as I mentioned, should be there, present. But sometimes the only adults will understand what's going on. Such as our great inspiration is some movie, Lego movie. Mm. It's every kid enjoy the movie, but adults understand the jokes behind the story.
Mm. But so to speak, it's preschool and the parents as
yes.
Okay. And I made a note transmedia because that came across quite good. This is more than just a computer or video game. So thanks for the presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I also noted that we are targeting at a. I don't have so much feedback on the pitch itself. You're just missing the budget. As you mentioned, you need the money. So how much are you looking for?
We are looking for 220,000 euros.
Okay, so you should mention that, of course, on a budget. And my main feedback would be that you are looking for a kids and very casual audience. And somehow it's quite difficult to find a publisher for that because most publishers are more confident with more hardcore and gamer audience. So they are actually, I will leave Vlad comment on that, but I don't know so much publishers that are good with that target audience, and I know even less people that are interested in that target audience, to be honest. So good luck.
Thank you. We know that making games, we just experience it every day. It's full of obstacles. We know there will be obstacles, something like that, so we will need to handle it, figure it out, yes, but we count on that.
Yeah, my advice would be rather to look for an investor than a publisher, because as I was saying, a good publisher for you will be very hard to find, but that doesn't mean that you should not work on that project. But the audience, I think you will need to go get your audience by yourself, because I know very few publishers on the indie side that are able to talk to kids, parents, and that kind of audience.
Yeah. We know that there are many ways how to release the game. Maybe we try some early access, something like that would work as well. So this is still part of our development. We have all doors open.
I would like to ask what is the main competitor on the market for your game?
I'm not sure. because our game is just in between all of games I mentioned here. But I don't know any game which is comparable using this type of gameplay we are using. So this is what I think is really powerful for our game. Yeah.
Just briefly, I was historically doing some games for the same audience, like Frantics in Denmark, and I think the approach was having humor that is, not sensitive, but can have another layer for parents, like in Simpsons or whatever. That's very good one, but challenging for localization. That's true, but I think that's actually good. I think this kind of game could be obviously great for Switch. We were even doing a similar mechanic-based game for Switch 1, or I was involved in that. But I think for Switch, and that's connected with what Guillaume said, you would need to be way more high budget. So you are really now landing in the space where very few publishers would see the potential for like big family game, even though you have potential based on your characters and the other things you can build around the game. But I think for this one, having the investor and then aim for the higher budget might be actually better. At least from those videos, I was missing, or I saw a big discrepancy between quality of cutscenes and then in-game quality of the art. So that's maybe something I would be interested about, like as a publisher, like what's the final quality of art? Because for Nintendo, for example, the quality of characters and the in-game art is something very important. Also, I would highlight the amount of gameplay mechanics, mini games, if you call it like that, or so you can build it around that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm happy to see that you add a lot more character to the game since I saw it last time. I have just a quick question. I didn't catch how the storytelling will work. Is it part of the gameplay itself, or?
Yeah, the storytelling works. Yeah, the story will be told during the gameplay using voiceover, dialogues, and using gameplay mechanics to really tell the story. I don't like games. We don't like games. I don't like games. Sorry to my colleagues. That holds you, and when you are stuck to listen, to read, something like that. That's why I mentioned Half-Life or maybe Portal games. I love that approach to storytelling. Like you are playing the game and you listen the story. You understand the story on what you are doing, what you are interacting with, and so on.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you.
Established and wide audience genres.
Hello, my name is Matt, and today I am here with a game called Holda. Holda is a first-person action-adventure combat game where you take on the role of a Northman who finds himself fused with a mysterious creature called Holda. We can play the video. You will fight Vikings and beasts seeking forbidden power in deep underground caves, and your goal is to stop them. Throughout your journey, you will face various giants and titans inspired by Norse mythology, and you will need to find a way how to defeat them. Some battles will take place on their giant bodies, and you will need to find a way how to defeat them. As a Northman, you embody intelligence and weapon mastery. On the other hand, as the creature, you transform into fast-paced, aggressive monster with the primal senses and climbing skills. With immersive audio and dynamic combat, Holda delivers a primal experience. One of the key features is its story is heavily inspired by Norse mythology, especially by the legends of Hodur. Players will encounter various epic boss fights. The game offers a semi or partial open world where each chapter introduces new and memorable locations. Players will be able to switch between two distinct characters, the Northman and the creature, and each character possesses a different skill tree, progression, and abilities. The game is divided into several chapters. Each chapter introduces its own memorable location that we call a base camp. In the base camp, players can upgrade and gear up before heading out for an adventure. Once the objective starts, players can explore and observe the environment and choose between two distinct styles of fight, whether it's stealth or direct combat, or a mix of both. Once the objective is completed, players need to escape this location and return to the base camp, where their performance will be evaluated. We are deeply inspired by several legendary titles, and we have drawn key elements from each to shape our game's core vision. One of our main inspirations and influences is Dishonored. We've been inspired by the game's fluid movements and great combat mechanics. The Hellblade is a great inspiration, especially how it conveys the Nordic theme and character psychological journey, and the God of War in terms of its epic and cinematic boss fights. Here are some key artworks created by one of our 2D artists that capture the atmosphere of Hulda. Something about us: we are a young and motivated team creating games with passion. We have developed and self-published a few small titles, and the core team creates up to 6 members. We also collaborate with various external partners, including Norwegian voice actors, to keep the game's authenticity. We are requesting a budget of 480k with a burn rate of 20k over a period of 24 months, so 2 years. This amount covers all the operational expenses, including salaries and outsourcing. We are currently in a prototyping phase with the core game mechanics and game architecture in place. And our main goal is to release the game as a premium title by the end of the year 2027. So what we are asking from publisher is the funding, marketing and discoverability, console submission, Q&A localization, and what our team can handle is the game development itself and console porting either to PS or Xbox. And that's it. Thank you so much for your attention. And I also have the prototype build here with me, so if anyone is interested, you can give it a shot. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I think on many aspects you are hitting a comfort zone for many publishers, which is both a good and a bad thing, which is you align comfortable thing, but you're not surprising, which can be the problem. The production value is very high, but it puts you in competition with much bigger studios than yours. But I think the project overall is interesting. The budget you are offering, honestly, budget-wise, the pitch is done properly. You will be able to pitch many publishers, but competition will be fierce. But I'm sure you have a chance to raise some money for your game. I won't say much than that.
Okay, thanks. You mentioned that the game is taking place underground. Can you explain, do you have different biomes, or am I constantly in these brownish worlds?
Yeah, of course. So we have like up to 6 chapters, and each chapter will take place in a different environment. We are starting on the surface, where we are playing as a Northman, and you will get captured by some shamans or invaders, and then you will go deeper and deeper until you reach the gates of hell, so it gets really messy. And you will also reach the various dimensions in the Yggdrasil, so but you will be mostly underground in the caves, going deeper.
if you have different biomes, I recommend to show them visually, even if you only show an inspiration, like a real photo from the real world. And if you are so heavily relying on the northern mythology, of course, pick some places from those regions. I really have to say I like the idea that you are working with the voiceover artist from the Nordics. So the more original proof you have from that region, the better it is for the marketing. You haven't touched on the price, but I guess it's then $39.99 or $49.99?
480. Okay. Sorry, the price.
Per product.
We haven't been really thinking about the price because we are still very early. We would rather discuss that with someone who would be perhaps handling the marketing and helping us to bring the game to the market. So we welcome any input from someone who is more experienced in this kind of field.
Okay, then the tip is to make your waterfall. So you put in whatever number you like, you deduct VAT, retailer margin or store margin, and then from bottom up you add the development costs and costs of marketing, and then you can see if the math works out for 500 grand. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
So I have a little problem with the game, but with the style of the game and the feeling. It all feels to me like quite mainstream, typical AAA game, like you showed God of War or Hellblade 2, but it's very unlikely you will get anywhere close to those titles with this kind of super small budget, right? So why bother? I just don't understand it. Why not to make something unique, more experimental, maybe more indie, more just different. This is mainstream stuff, and it will be underwhelming because there's already is God of War.
We definitely don't want to be better, and there is no chance to be better. We just wanted to take some very cool elements from these games that might be fun and incorporate them into our own ambitious project. And perhaps some players who really love playing Nordic games set with dishonored mechanics where you can choose between two different approaches, and with an interesting campaign and with some depth in the story and emotion, I think that might be interesting for some players.
Yeah, that's fine, I think. But we should, as players, we should see it from the first sight, from the trailer, that this is something like familiar, but a little different. Maybe not so high budget, but interesting enough that I would want to play it. This feels like it's just mimicking those AAA titles, at least from the trailer.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I have a similar comment because how huge of game you already done, because you are planning for 24 months, very huge game, and it's from my experience very hard to plan in the scope, in the small team.
We are currently 1 year in the prototyping phase because we were first focusing on the architecture and on the game basis, so we can build the content a little bit faster. So the rest of the months and the years will be definitely more focused on the creation of the graphical content.
And how long game should be?
Up to 7 hours.
7 hours is really huge if you going the single player game in corridor. I know that you mentioned that you will have open world areas, but it's much more complicated to develop. So I recommend to switch it to corridors because you save a lot of problems. Because creating even small open world part is really hard, even especially in a small team of 6 people.
Yes, totally agree. Also, and I think, that's kind of what everyone said, like, it looks nice. It looks like AA game, except of those 2D arts. They don't look as from those big games. But just, if we do a quick math, so you're asking for almost 500,000, then there is another 100K at least on top for the marketing side from the publisher, maybe some QA, localization, and so on. So you might end up in like 700K or maybe even more for publisher. And then if you sell this for $30, then the publisher's income would be 15, let's say, in average. So you would need to sell how much, like 35, 40K copies, just to be on the break even. And each publisher is usually aiming on double or triple, so it means 120 copies or 120K copies, and that's nowadays very tricky with game that is, as Kuba said, like mimicking bigger games, but it's not distinguishing enough, and because of Unreal Engine, a lot of games can now look good, but they need to have something really unique visually. That part I was missing, but also gameplay wise, and I saw the whole gameplay loop, but there was also no clear USP for me in the loop. So I think focusing on these and explaining how different you are and how to sell those 120K copies, that would be the biggest challenge from my point of view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Established and wide audience genres.
All right. Okay, good. We are at the end of the road here. We are at the end of the Game Pitch Arena. So that means a few things. Now the hotel is open, so you can leave, but don't do it now. Because before that, I want to, big thank you to all the teams, to all the pitching teams that were here to present their projects to you and to our experts, to our jurors. Huge thanks to every single one of you sitting there in your comfy chairs. It was amazing, and I think even people that weren't on pitching teams learned a lot from you and from advices. And of course, thank you to the audience for sitting here, for supporting the creators, and maybe, who knows, maybe you will develop a game or make a project and you will be here at the Pitch Arena next year in 2026. But one thing needs to be said. This is not the end, because now you are wondering, who got the money? Who got the money? Oh, well, we are not going to tell you now. We will tell you at 7:30 in the festival tent at the chateau. It's a big, huge white tent. 7:30, please be there, and you will hear who got the money and who not. But, that's life. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you.
Game Pitch Arena, Anna Film 2025.